Hey, Lauren.
How's it going?
How's things? You all right?
Very good. Glad to be here with you guys.
Thanks for coming on the show. I'm liking that artwork. I'm very jealous. My artwork is not standing up to that artwork, Lauren.
I'm very fortunate to have some creative friends. So
wow. to be honest, I'm in a hotel up in the Highlands of Scotland right now, so I did not choose this artwork.
That's not an expression of your taste. That's not your painting right there.
That's definitely. In fact, actually, it's not too bad now. I'm looking at
those
it.
deer look majestic. I think that's a great bit of artwork.
It's the most cliche.
It's definitely a vibe.
It's the most cliche Scottish artwork in a hotel you'll ever see. Stags in the forest.
Just so you know, you're in Scotland.
Yeah.
We need to remind you with the artwork on the wall. You can't look at the window. Just look at the artwork.
Yeah, don't forget.
Where are you based, Lauren?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm from Los Angeles originally.
Oh, okay, cool. How long have you been in Atlanta for?
4 years now.
Oh, right, nice one. And what's the scene like over that way? Like outside of COVID? Before COVID?
In the before times, really great. It's kind of a small but mighty scene. There's a lot of really talented folks here. Yeah. But has that Southern flavor to it with lots of hospitality and warmth. And they've been really welcomed me with open arms, which is just really, really nice.
Yeah.
Superb.
Do you prefer it to LA? You not miss the sunshine?
Oh, it gets proper hot, sunny here, but it's also raining half the time. It could be sunny and raining at the same time. It's a lot of rainbow weather here in Georgia.
I've heard the food's really good in Georgia as well.
Ooh,
okay.
I have high standards being from LA, especially when it comes to Asian food, which is kind of my thing. As a Southern Californian, I kind of think it's just my birthright to be able to walk out my door, walk down 2 blocks and get like the best taco ever. Yeah. And that's just not what's happening here.
In Scotland, you have to travel to a different country for that.
There's nowhere to get a taco. This is going to be hard.
But it's not a good taco.
No, we tend to do it very
Not even a haggis taco?
Oh, no, there's a thing. You just come up with a great idea.
That's a business idea right there.
I mean, everywhere in America, it's some kind of spin-off on a taco because, everybody likes handheld food. So stick it in a tortilla and you got magic.
Yeah.
Paul, let's start making haggis tacos. This could be like a future venture.
It comes free with some Scottish artwork as well as you buy it. Free printout with your taco. Taco Bell's just opened in Greenock. There is one open here, but it's probably not the American standards.
I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, you shouldn't be.
This has turned into a food.
If you are, that's a problem.
This is like a food review show more than a music review show. I think this is.
Oh yeah, you get me on, I'm going to talk about food.
Do you know what I loved about LA as well was the In-N-Out burger? Me and John always talking about the In-N-Out burger. And I don't know what it was.
Did you get it right before you got off the plane or got on the plane?
Just got off. That's right. Yeah. How did you know that?
Yeah, because it's right there, down the road. Everybody's got to get their In-N-Out. It's not as good as it used to be, but I think the standard of beef in the United States in general is not as good as it used to be. Yeah. But I do love an In-N-Out. I really do.
I've never ever tried an In-N-Out burger before. I feel like I'm missing
out. That is quintessential California fast food.
That is. If you tried a burger in McDonald's in Scotland, you'd be solely disappointed.
Oh, I bet you it's better there than it is here. I mean, I don't like McDonald's. I grew up across the street from McDonald's, and I went there less than 5 times my entire life.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. So we've got a place called Handmade Burger Company over here that does pretty good burgers, actually. It's miles better than McDonald's. This really is turning into a food show now.
I'm okay with it. Everybody got to eat, right?
Yeah.
In fact, hold on. In fact, I've just remembered I've got dinner in the oven. I will be back in a
minute. He's not actually kidding, Lauren. He's actually not kidding. Wow.
It's probably good. Otherwise, the house might be burning down around him.
You just see the fire.
Talking about food.
Yes. Flames and smoke.
Flames coming in from that door over there.
We'll continue the chat when he gets back. I think about music. Then we'll just continue music talk. No, I loved LA, Lauren. I loved going out to LA as well, and done a bit of Florida. But LA was just quite a laid back sort of It was very dusty.
What parts did you see?
Is it San Diego? Was it? Is that LA? Okay. San Diego? Is that kind of over?
San Diego's about 2 hours south. San Diego's its own thing. Also really beautiful. Where I'm from is Redondo Beach, which is like 20 minutes south down the coast from the airport. So
is it Venice Beach? Is it Venice? Venice Beach?
Venice is a little bit north, like north the other, maybe 20 minutes the other direction.
Yeah.
Where all the bodybuilders and the roller skaters.
Yeah, that's where Big Arnie made his career down that way, doesn't he? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, was he not down in Venice Beach all the time back?
Probably, in the 60s? Yeah. That's a good place to show out, you know, when you're trying to flex in front of a lot of people. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I made a real embarrassment of myself trying to show my muscly body.
Did you do that? Did you go for it in Venice Beach? Did you?
I went to Venice Beach. I never get my guns out. Or no, I didn't get my muscles out.
You're depriving all those people down there of the guns.
I got an ice cream and I lay in the shade because I couldn't handle the heat. Anyway, I suppose we should talk about more music-related stuff, Lauren. Sorry to ramble.
Sure,
we tend to ramble quite a bit, don't we, John? We tend to ramble about a lot of rubbish. You should hear what we talk about off camera.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. My sweet potato fries were very well done, by the way.
See, it's good we were talking about food. Otherwise, you might have been burning your place down.
I totally forgot about that.
Who puts food in the oven before a Zoom-based interview?
Nobody.
Somebody wants to burn their house down.
Yeah, that's good on, John.
So what inspired the move to Atlanta for you from Los Angeles?
Sure. Well, it was several things. My husband and I had been married for a year at that point, but in that first year, we saw each other for 6 weeks because he was in between Atlanta and Detroit working on films. Mm-hmm. He's a sculptor for the film industry, which Paul knows. We've had a chat about that.
Yeah, I love that.
And I was coming to, that just wasn't sustainable as a marriage for us to be seeing each other for 6 weeks out of a year.
Yeah.
And all signs were kind of pointing to Atlanta being the new hub for filmmaking, which it definitely has been for a good at least 5 years now.
Uh-huh.
And then for me personally, I had just kind of wrapped up things at the 5th internet startup I was at. That was my kind of claim to fame as far as career wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of over it and I needed a change of scenery.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what was going to be here when I arrived, but like I said, there's a really nice, small but mighty scene here that's been very welcoming. And really, it inspired me to get back into DJing. I probably wouldn't have gotten back into DJing if I had stayed in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So were you DJing out in Atlanta like before BC, before COVID?
I'm sorry, what in Atlanta before COVID?
Were you DJing in Atlanta before COVID?
Yeah, a little bit. Because I had gotten back into it. I had a long hiatus, about a 10-year hiatus while I was doing the startup thing. And then I got back into it in 2019. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't, between now and then, that's not a lot of time for me to be DJing. But yeah, there was a little bit. And I started producing my own events as well.
Awesome.
I got 2 of those in before COVID.
Oh, nice. It sounds like you got to work quite quickly.
I'm sorry?
So it sounds like you got to work quite quickly when you were down there. Like you just get straight into it.
No, I mean, I was here for 2 years before all that kicked off, and I was just trying to find my way. I'll be honest, I was clinically depressed.
Oh, wow.
I was a little disillusioned after the startup world. So I was just kind of trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure out if I was going to get into the startup world here, but I was just like not feeling it. And then I started working for myself, doing marketing for real estate agents.
Okay.
And then slowly getting into the scene here. And once I, kind of jumped in both feet, and the vibe, there's some really great events down here. And so the vibe was great and the people were wonderful. And then it was just like, yes, this feels like home. So then,
has it always been like kind of disco based stuff, Lauren? Funky, kind of house disco-y? Has it always been that tinge stuff?
Yeah, for the most part. If I think back to like the very first mix CD I ever put together, the heart of it is definitely disco. There's definitely a bass line.
Yeah.
And for me personally, there's always some level of like world music influence in there, being a I studied world dance in college. So that kind of infuses everything that I do.
Yeah, there's such a great revival for it right now, isn't it? It's such exciting times. There seems to be the talent that's coming through and the energy behind the scene for that uplifting, funky, disco kind of driven music right now. It's
and
phenomenal.
From every part of the world, it's really wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest
and it's just my vibe. Like when as a dancer, it's what I want to listen to. It's what I want to groove to generally.
I think that's the biggest thing from these interviews, isn't it, John? So many people we've spoke to all around the world, and they've got a great kind of connection with the scene and what's going on right now, and it just seems like really exciting times, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Totally
agree.
Do
you have plans to do events again, like when things get back to normality as well? Is that in the pipeline?
Yeah, for sure. I enjoy producing events. I enjoy bringing people together. That's kind of what I feel like is my purpose in this scene as a DJ and as an event promoter. So just, when you could get all the right people in the room and the music is right and the vibe is there, like it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, totally.
So to be able to help create that for people, especially I think we're all needing it badly at this point.
Absolutely. How are things over there just now? Are you still in lockdown just now, or is it starting to ease off a bit over there?
Things are starting to open up. I'm not really paying that close attention to what George is doing because it's been a little politicized here. So they're not necessarily doing what they should be doing, in my opinion, according to the science.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a minute for me personally to feel really comfortable getting out there again. But I am getting my second dose on Friday. So I think hopefully that will alleviate some of my, there's a little bit of anxiety, I'll be honest about it.
Yeah, it's a big shock. I can't imagine what it'll be like to be back in a club full of people again, because it is quite a shock to the system, isn't it?
I'm going to cry. I'm going to be in the middle of the dance floor, dancing and crying.
Yeah, I'll probably be shouting at people to stay back, get back 2 meters, get away from me.
Talk of that bubble.
This is my dad's space.
Yeah, stay back. Yeah, it'll be a strange feeling, I think, to go back to that. I think the UK, this is probably the best position we've been in for probably since it started. I think it seemed to hit hard before Christmas. It eased off, and then after Christmas was just a relentless time in the UK. But the vaccines have been getting rolled out really fast over here. We've done quite well with that, and it definitely seems to be on the way in the right direction. So I haven't even seen John. John, when's the last time I even seen you face to face?
Other than Zoom.
Well, every night.
Probably about the middle of last year, because I remember things started opening back up briefly when we got that gig.
Oh yeah, we got one gig.
That would have been maybe July, August.
We got,
you actually had a gig in July.
It's been too long, Paul. It's been too long.
It's been far too long. Yeah, we got one gig, masks on, and that's it. One gig in a year.
How was that? Probably a little weird.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, no DJing. I felt like I was kind of like DJing in Mortal Kombat or something with a mask on. It was just really strange.
Yeah, it's just like, I think hopefully the UK this summer's looking a little bit more promising for us, and hopefully it's the same for you guys over there, Lauren. I think some countries are peaking differently and some are dropping. It's just,
I mean, like you guys, we've been fortunate to have a strong rollout. Now, the demand, unfortunately, for the vaccine is going down before I think it probably needs to. But hopefully, people will get over their apprehension and just realize that we all need to do this.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. We all need to see it through to the end together.
Yeah, I would queue outside for a few nights in a row waiting for my vaccine. I would take any vaccine going right now because me and John still haven't got one.
I know. I think we are maybe going to get them next month at some point, possibly. I think that's for our age group.
This is way earlier than I was anticipating it was going to happen, which is great.
Yeah.
So there's people queuing up outside Primark on Monday morning because we started opening up the shops again on Monday, and there was like queues out the door for Primark at 7 o'clock in the morning.
People camping out for a pint in a local pub. Just to get that first pint, basically. It was like everything to people, I think.
Oh, I'm sure.
But see, to be honest,
it never tasted that good. It could have been the worst beer ever, but
I'd rather just sit in the house and put music on, to be totally honest.
Honestly, I might sit out the first, like when things fully, like clubs reopen, I might sit it out for a little while because it's going to be a mess.
It's going to be chaos, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, people are going to be letting go, like properly letting go for the first 6 months.
Yeah,
it.
It's going to be a mess.
Are you focusing on a lot of radio stuff then, Lauren? Because you've got the Spin City show. Do you focus a lot of your attention on that right now then?
Yeah, I mean, I play typically the first Sunday of the month. I'll jump in on a few other shows during the month here and there. But I've got also a lot of guest spots coming up. Thanks to our friend Miss Chief Karen. I've got several shows coming out on NDC Radio.
Brilliant.
And I'm kind of storming UK radio this month between you guys, People City Radio with the 4Play DJ guys. And then I have another.
You've got the guest mix with us, Only Good Vibes Radio, going out this Sunday as well. That's a little plug for that.
Yes. 30-minute mixes are the hardest. Can I just say? They're just the hardest. It really forces you to cut the fat and just like get to it. There's no time to mess about.
Yeah, we love your track selections in that, because that mix you put up on the group page was stood right out. We were loving that mix.
Thank you.
Stuff.
And it was a song with the Koi track at the start. It was in 1981. That's a great track.
Oh, so good. It doesn't get. I was like, this hasn't been played in a while. We need to come back to this vibe right here.
Totally.
That's such a good track.
That's one of my go-tos as well. It's got a very Daft Punk vibe to it.
Yes, but like laid back and cool too, and the lyrics are just great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's just that. Is it Koi? Is that how you say it? Koi, this phenomenon.
I think that's how you say it. I think so. I'm going to say yes.
I don't know. I've just been, since it's all capitalized every time I see it, I've been saying COEO, but I don't know.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
John, I think you've got this wrong. What's going on here?
I'm going to stick with it though. Koi. It's Koi.
Just make it up. Just making names up.
Fortunately, I knew which track you were talking about. So. Otherwise, if you had just said the name, I would have been like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, some great tracks on that. We were loving that mix. It just stood right. It just suited what we're all about and what we're doing. So that's why it just seemed like a good match. And we're glad to have you joining the crew, doing your interview show as well, Lauren. That'll be great.
Absolutely.
I am too. I'm super excited. It's outside of my comfort zone a bit, but the last couple of years, a lot of things have been, and so I'm just kind of pushing through it. And
so this is still outside our comfort zone as well.
if me and John can do it, you'll be all right.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. Just like putting voiceovers on my mixes. Like I was so anxious about starting to do that, but then very quickly it became comfortable. So I'm like, okay, it's like that. And now I'm going to talk to people and it'll be on camera. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's all good. And we can pre-record it and edit any bits out, because we usually edit half of ours out anyway. That's the joys of not doing live.
Yes.
I think the good thing with this format as well is it is quite informal, so it's not like you don't really need to kind of feel too pressured by it. It is literally just having a conversation with someone, quite laid back.
Yeah, and you Scots are good at making people feel comfortable. So
yeah, I mean, look at the artwork.
Yes, and the beauty.
If that doesn't make you comfortable, I don't know what will.
No, you guys are sitting there rocking the artwork. I've got like a whiteboard that's blank.
I know, John, you need to get a little something.
Where are your goals? Where are your dreams, John?
Yeah, they're all in there. Man with a million ideas.
Written down in here.
That's more portable.
Brilliant. No, it's great. It's great to have you on board, definitely, Lauren. We're looking forward to the show. Who is it you've got coming on first, did you say? Who's some of the guests you're thinking?
Pontchartrain he's originally from Detroit, but he's moved to New York, and that's kind of part of the reason why I wanted to interview him, because he left his job and decided to pursue production full-time in the midst of COVID, and moved to New York to be with his girlfriend, I believe. So a lot of big changes for him in the last year in the midst of all of this going on. I think he's got an interesting story to tell, in addition to just being a really crazy talented DJ and producer and a nice guy.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, just supporting, because that's how the idea began. Just me and John looking to reach out. It was right at the beginning of what was going on. We thought, let's reach out to DJs, musicians, just try and connect people together. We never expected it to grow so well, but it's great to have people like yourself representing in different areas of the world now, and we can reach that support out to other people and let you kind of invite on who you think. And it sounds like this guy's definitely a justified first guest anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's also A&R for Whiskey Disco. I don't think I mentioned that.
Oh yeah,
so
right.
You know, super rock solid label. One of my top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
So he's doing all the things. It's kind of, I think, living the dream life, at least as it appears to the rest of us. So we'll dig into that.
Yeah, definitely sounds like that'll be an interesting interview. It definitely sounds like he's got an interesting story there, even over just the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, he was, if I remember correctly, he was in Europe during lockdown and almost got stuck over there when it was all going on. And so, yeah, he's got an interesting story to tell.
Yeah, well, looking forward to that. Looking forward to having you on. Glad to have you on board. And it's just a good opportunity to support and reach out to other people. And just it's the family is growing.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and it also aligns with, you know, becoming part of the Spin City crew. Yeah. We've got our own little crew. I don't know if you've heard our hashtag floating around, Disco Waltons, but there's a group of us that are have been in the chat even before COVID, but like even more so during COVID, because like what else do we have to do? And, you know, we need to find our sources of joy where we can. And then for a lot of us, that's the music. Yeah. But religiously, there's this group of a dozen or so more who gather in the Spin City chat room every Sunday, like church.
Yeah.
Wow. And I have not met a single one of them in person, but they've become some of my best friends.
Yeah.
And so that opportunity to connect with people, I think let's just keep that going.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the technology has definitely been a savior over this last year, you know, because if this had happened like 20, 25 years ago, everybody would have been so, you know, cut off and disconnected. It would have been such a horrible experience.
I had to send John a pigeon.
What do you look like, Paul?
A picture of me sent by pigeon, carrier pigeon. No, it is true. I know it's amazing that the Zoom, and it just came at the right time. I think all this, hasn't it?
And yes, and the live streaming too, because I, you know, as a DJ, I'm sure most of us were like, okay, well, what do I do now? There's no live audiences to play in front of, but it's changing the game for a lot of people. Some people have been able to monetize it and survive. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see if that continues or how it gets utilized going forward.
Yeah, I think there'll be like a kind of hybrid thing. So you'll have like live events that are also, you know, streamed, so people can maybe even have to, like, rather than pay to go to an event, you could pay to see the live stream from home. So that if you can't get to the event, you can still kind of.
I mean, I've been loving it because, you know, in Atlanta, we don't get a lot of the talent that I follow is in Europe. So we don't get that talent because we don't have a lot of big clubs here. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the talent that I've been able to see over the last year of lockdown is nothing I would have ever seen in person. Mm-hmm. And now I have that opportunity, and there's hardly any barrier between myself and whoever the talent is, because it's them and their decks and their setup or whatever, and they can get in the chat room or talk to me on the microphone or whatever. Like, you don't have that level of interaction in a nightclub ever, unless you're unless you're backstage with somebody. But even then, you're going and shouting at each other and not understanding what anybody's saying anyway. So,
especially with a Scottish accent, trust me, no one understands what you say in a club.
Just doing a lot of smiling and nodding.
No, I think that is true. It's like a lot more intimate, I think, wasn't it, with the DJ sets? It was playing into people's homes, I think, wasn't it? Count for a lot. And it also,
and you can truly dance like no one's watching because it's you.
Yeah. Oh God, I bet there's been some scary dancing going on across the world.
I'm here for it.
Me and John connected up with some people, and then all of a sudden it turned out they were like 20, 30 miles from us, and we were like, how have we never actually connected and met you before at some point? But it turns out it needed an epidemic to connect us. Yeah,
it was quite weird. Like, you're connecting with somebody that's literally just down the road from you that you weren't aware of before. Like,
silver linings, man. They're definitely there, thankfully.
Yeah, I think in a way, I think it was much needed for music, because it brought everybody right down to what the basics were. You know, the music and the DJing. it wasn't insanely large crowds and everybody was worshipping like superstar DJ sort of stardom. It brought everybody back down quite humble, and they just thought, well, what is it actually about? You know what I mean? What are we doing here? And I think it's the beginning of a new chapter. I think once this finally eases, it'll probably be quite a promising, probably 5 to 10 years ahead.
I think so.
Everybody's regrouped a little bit, I think.
Yeah, like okay, we have a beat to rest instead of being, running around the world or whatever. Like, being able to have a moment to be intentional about what you're doing and why you're doing it, I think is going to be good for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's easy to just like get caught up in all of it and just keep going until you're burned out. But it's like, for me, I'm thinking about when I start producing events again, diversity is an important thing to me as a woman of color.
Yeah.
And like, how do I make sure that my lineups at my events reflect that? Being very, very purposeful about it. And now, I'm seeing a lot of the big clubs are announcing like they're committing to 50%, minority female representation on their lineups, which, if we weren't in this period, if things had just kind of steamrolled forward as they were going, there was not going to be any change. There was no reason to change things. So
that's a good point. Yeah, people have taken a step back and just thought, what are we actually? How is it moving forward like this? How can we improve it? But it's just taking that little breathing space, isn't it?
Yeah, and sustainability. I'm seeing a lot of clubs committing to that. Like, a grain rider. I saw a post about that the other day. Like putting commitments in your rider for the big DJs to put commitments in their riders that they want, recycling going on at the events, or no straws, or no, single-use plastics, or that kind of thing.
What would you have in your rider if you had a choice?
Birthday cake.
Birthday cake?
Birthday cake.
I do like birthday cake. No, I don't know actually. What would I have?
Sustainable birthday cake.
Yeah, sustainable birthday cake made with coconut sugar.
Every gig is my birthday.
That's a brilliant.
And there must be candles.
I remember hearing that before. I'm sure there was a band. I can't remember who it was, but that was like on their rider. Every concert they done, they had to have birthday cake before they went on stage. I can't remember who that was though.
Bring that back.
Rush.
He doesn't ask a lot, does he, Lauren? He doesn't want a lot. Just wants the man just wants some birthday cake. It's not a lot.
No, I'm sure you can get some birthday cake anytime, and
I just want to feel like it's my.
It always makes it a party. So what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. I'm for your birthday cake rider.
Yeah.
Awesome. What would you have, Paul? What's on your rider? Don't say birthday cake.
Probably like one of my favourite drinks. I love it. That Swiss drink.
Are we back to food again, you guys?
This happens quite often when we're chatting.
A white Russian.
Oh, wait,
just one.
Because two gets a bit dangerous, and I'll start messing up the mixes. To be honest,
it's like martinis. You really shouldn't have more than two.
No, I think you're definitely what you say, Lon. It's just been a major change. The whole world has just been flipped upside down. There's been, I think, a lot of good will come from it once the negativity and the harsh.
I hope so. Otherwise, what was the point of all of this, right? We all need to do. The world is pointed to. We need to do better. So this is our opportunity. Let's do better.
I think there's going to be a lot of changes when things do start properly opening back up again. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people as well, because people are going to head in new directions now, and people are going to be kind of pursuing their own goals a bit more as well, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It's like, okay, it all shut down. I can't even do the thing that I was doing. Okay, what do I want to do?
Mm-hmm,
if the world's going to end tomorrow, I may as well enjoy what I'm doing, right?
That makes so much sense.
Where have you been all our life, Lauren?
Just dropping the knowledge. I'm here to drop the knowledge.
So I have to ask as well, so the serious question is, who is that on the couch next to you?
My little fur baby.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I can get her to sit up. She's camera shy. I don't even know how she knows what that is, but like she hates it when I try to take pictures of her.
She looks very comfortable.
If she gets to be next to me, she's good. That's Cora. Her name's Cora, short for Corazon.
Ah, okay.
How did I not notice there was a cat in that song?
It's a dog.
Oh, sorry, that's
Go to
why.
my Instagram. You'll like half of my Instagram is pictures of my dog.
Oh God!
I just caught a slight
giving
movement.
me side eye as I take pictures of her because she hates it.
I was going to say it's quite a big cat. If it was, it'd be. Can I get on? Can I like
50-pound pit bull mix?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's up.
Movement.
Oh. I heard this
We're talking about us. You can sense we're talking about.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Again.
Usually the kind of other half of the kind of chit chat, Lauren, we just kind of ask some kind of silly questions. We don't want to keep John too long either because he's got sweet potato things in the oven unless he's turned them off. I don't want to keep.
No, they're slightly burnt. They're now outside the oven and they're slightly.
You got to start over, man.
Oh man.
I think they're maybe salvageable. I'll have a look. I'll taste a few.
What are you having with them, John? Just
salmon.
Bit of gammon.
Roasted salmon.
Oh, salmon. This man knows how to live, Lauren. This man knows how to live.
Yeah.
Birthday cake for afters.
I don't have any birthday cake, actually.
Oh.
That's on my rider. That's when we start DJing again. I'll be getting the birthday cake.
Now, usually when we just kind of ask like about albums and favourite songs and things, what is there some albums or like that have stuck with you over the years? Certain albums, certain artists that have inspired you over the years?
Air, Moon Safari. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. I would say that was kind of one of the first albums where I was suddenly conscious of music production. Just because the sounds that they use, the atmospherics, and it sounded like nothing I had ever heard before. And I probably listened to that album on repeat for like an entire year.
Oh, okay.
Just because I was so immersed in the worlds that they create in each of those songs. It has a very cinematic quality to it, which I love. And I love that about, if I can get that in my disco and my house music, then I'm all about it too.
Right.
Something else that I listened on repeat for a long time was this Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong compilation.
Yeah.
Both of their uses of their instrument, her voice and his trumpet, and even his voice sort of sounds like a trumpet.
Yeah.
The sensitivity and the level of detail and artistry in their music, just I could listen to that all day. If I could die tomorrow and wake up in somebody else's body, I would want to be Ella Fitzgerald just so I could sing all day long.
Really? I think I know Louis' voice is just phenomenal. I don't know how many fags you've got or how many cigarettes you've got to smoke to actually get to that point, but what a voice. A lot of cigarettes have been smoked in the life.
Yeah, to everybody else's benefit, not to his own, probably. But we're all better for it.
What would you say is your favorite quote? What's a quote that's always stuck with you?
I'm not much one for quotes, but I'll tell you what my mantra for the last couple of years has been since I got it back into DJing. And you'll probably have to bleep this out, but it's fuck it.
Yeah, that's a great,
whenever I'm nervous about doing something or scared to do something, I just go, you know what? Fuck it. Like, who cares if I'm reaching out to a producer I don't know and I, admire them a lot or whatever. It's like, who cares? Like, just do it. I don't want to die with any regrets. Just do the thing.
Yeah, you can overthink it. Overthinking, I think, is the worst.
Push through the fear. All the things that we want are over there on the other side of fear. Yeah. So, fuck it.
I'm feeling it's very motivational speeches going on here, Lauren. I'm liking this. I'm feeling very motivated.
Good. What are you going to get out and do after this talk?
Probably just turn on the TV and then go to bed, to be honest.
That's motivated.
But the next day, I'm going to go camping with my good lady in the Highlands. We're going to go camping in the camper van, so I'm motivated to do that. So I'll rest tonight and enjoy the. Well, as long
are you going to go gallivant amongst the elk, as in the the picture in the background there.
Can you just picture me just out frolicking around in the forest with the stags?
Yeah, except they're chasing you, going, get the hell out of here.
It's this crazy Scotsman in our forest. No, we're going to go and do a bit of camping and stuff. Looking forward to it. It's the first week, I think Monday just there, we could finally get let out of the house since November in the UK. So I converted a camper van. Me and my girlfriend were ready to go, so we're going to go away as long as the rain stays off. To be honest, if it's like ice and snow, like it tends to get. But today was all right.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have heard it's supposed to be thunder and lightning tomorrow.
Thunder and lightning,
but also sun. So you've kind of got.
This sounds like Atlanta.
It's a camper van. We'll be all right. It's all right. You can just shut the door over if not. I just like to light a fire. A little fire. Me and my girlfriend, couple of ales, little drink round the fire in the mountains.
Have you got your mead yet? Have you sampled the mead? So Paul makes his own mead like from scratch.
Well, I had one attempt. You make me sound like a pro. Do you know what mead is, Lauren?
Yes.
Like honey.
At first, I thought you were saying meat with a T.
Oh yeah, mead.
Mead. Honey wine, right?
Yeah, honey wine. Yeah. I tried in lockdown. I was so bored, so me and my girlfriend started to try and make our own mead, but it turned out fizzy for some reason. I don't know how that happened. So it's becoming like explosive bottles. It's quite dangerous. You risk your life. You risk your life trying to drink it, I think. But yeah, my girlfriend's bringing
mead. Drink at your own risk.
Yeah. And I've just had the ingredients delivered for plum wine, so I'm going to try a bit of plum wine next.
A bit of plum wine.
Cool.
Yeah. The stuff in lockdown, there's not much else going on. You might as well just start brewing alcohol.
Yeah, learn some stuff. Learn a new skill.
Yeah.
I almost started, I was like, I really like sourdough bread. Do I need to start baking? And I was like, no, I don't need to start baking. And when all of this sitting around at home, that's just not a good idea. So I resisted all temptation to buy like a bread baking machine or whatever.
Yeah, because bread is dangerous. Once you start on bread, my God, there's no stopping that.
I do like sourdough though. Sourdough.
Oh, I live for sourdough.
Poached eggs, put a bit of salmon on there. Oh.
Yes.
We're back to the food reviews again.
Just out of curiosity, Lauren, how did you become aware of us and what we were doing as well?
Let's see. I think I had seen, we're all kind of the disco scene's not that big. So yeah. I'm sure I couldn't be sure, but I definitely sat down and watched your interview with Karen, Karen Scargill, Miss Chief.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
Yeah, shout out to Karen. She's brilliant. She doesn't stop, Karen. She's just like, I don't think she sleeps.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't.
Because there's no energy. Full on positive energy.
Awesome. Stop. Yeah, she's awesome. And she's one of the Disco Waltons. In fact.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think she was the one that came up with the name, but one of the days in the chats. And
she bought us a set of pom-poms. She bought me and John a set of pom-poms. Like
I love it.
Brilliant.
Where are they?
Joy.
I think I've got somewhere over there actually.
Are these coming out at the first gig?
Would it be really funny if I pulled them out in this hotel in Inverness up the north of Scotland? I just took my pom-poms with me. Yeah. Would that be a bit
I think you should take them camping with you. I think there's like a good profile picture in there somewhere. Like out in the Highlands with the pom-poms.
That's an Instagram moment right there.
Yes.
And with the deers, and with the stag.
They're going to be so into it. They're going to be like, what?
I'm regretting not bringing them now, actually.
So you're into to marketing as well, Lauren? Is that your kind of background as well?
That's what I do right now. I wouldn't say it's my background. I studied dance in college, so I guess if we're going to talk about background, that's what my background is. But yeah, I did early stage startups, as I mentioned, for over a decade. Mm-hmm. So, and in that kind of like, we're talking about being hired third, fourth person in the company. So you have to do everything. Including marketing. I think it comes from just, I have a comfort with technology and all of there's always a new marketing platform that comes out.
Oh, totally.
And the realtors that I work with, they're relationships people. They're not technology people. Mm-hmm. So I, use my comfort and expertise with that kind of startup mindset of one to help them, handle all the marketing that's necessary for their businesses, which is a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast the platforms are moving as well. Like, it's just this constant change all the time.
Yeah, constantly. And you have to just be like, okay, I know how to use this thing, or I'm going to figure it out. And I have that mindset about a lot of things. So I can at least be ahead of my my realtors, because they don't have the wherewithal to sit down and figure it out.
Yeah, that must help you with when you're doing the events and the DJing as well, like putting your stuff out there and really kind of marketing and promoting it.
Absolutely, like just being consistent about it. I think about your marketing is like a major thing. And so figuring out what systems you need to make that happen, whether that's a scheduler, one of these online schedulers for putting up posts or whatever, so that you're constantly getting in front of people, is really important. So it's massive. Yeah, it's definitely helpful.
It's massive in music now, isn't it? It's probably more so than the music itself, isn't it? In music, in some ways, artwork, promotion, marketing, it's just absolutely massive. It's so time consuming as well, isn't it?
Big time.
Yeah, it is. And then I have my moments where I'm just like, okay, I kind of want to just make a mix, or I kind of want to just sit down and play with Ableton. But if no one hears it, no one sees it, then it's just kind of floating out in the ether. And that's fine if you're not, you're not looking to get attention for what you're doing. But, if you're trying to like grow something and make a name for yourself, then it's important to get your name out there and be consistent.
What would you say is the kind of strongest platform at the moment to work on, if you were to kind of choose a platform? I know you're kind of supposed to be based around quite a lot of them, but is there anyone in particular that you would say that's the kind of one to really focus on?
I would say Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Instagram is still growing, but hasn't turned into the monster that Facebook has.
Yep.
Facebook has become the new MySpace. Remember at the end of MySpace there, it was just like this unwieldy monster. It had gotten so ugly, and just you're trying to do too many things. Yeah, the beauty of Instagram is its simplicity. And I don't think they can do, other than adding all these video elements that they have, I don't think they can do a whole lot to kind of derail the simplicity of it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's good to keep things quite simple, isn't it? Facebook's just doing a lot of things now. I was always a fan of Bebo. I think Bebo will have a comeback one day.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, Bebo, was that what was that? Maybe it was a British thing. I can't remember.
I assumed that was worldwide. I don't know, but that was like.
Am I the only one that still has a Bebo account?
Friendster? Did you guys have Friendster? That was before MySpace.
Wow, no.
That one, no.
Was that after MSN? Because MSN was the big one.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've just summed up our point.
Actually, like, where's it all going to go after Facebook and all these platforms? Are they all here to stay?
Yeah, for better or worse.
Yeah. Maybe people will just throw phones away in the future on social media, and everyone will just forget about it, and we'll just go back to living like we used to.
I know, you can send those pigeons over again.
Yeah, maybe.
I've got them here, prepped and
ready.
I'll
put a pack on my dog and let her deliver the mail or whatever.
The long way to Scotland.
She's a good swimmer.
Now, we'll not keep you too much longer, Lauren. It's been a pleasure having you on. We're glad to have you as part of the team. We're looking forward to supporting what you're doing out there as well. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thanks very much for coming on and chatting to us. It was great getting to know you a bit.
Same. You guys have been warm and welcoming, and I'm excited for all the things that you guys have coming down the pike as well. So really honored to be a part of it. Thank you.
Awesome. Hopefully we can flesh at some point in the future as well.
Oh, yes, please. I got a lot of people in Scotland, so I'm definitely coming your way at some point.
Sounds like a plan. Come in the summer. June to July, your best bet for getting sunshine. Other than that, it's a bit of a write-off.
I'll make you my world famous sweet potato fries as well.
And birthday cake.
Yeah. Can you bring us an In-N-Out burger, Lauren? Can you bring us an In-N-Out burger over, please?
I'm gonna have to go all the way to California. Yeah. And then
via. It's all right. You're in and out before you know it. You'll be all right.
I'm probably gonna eat it before it gets there. So
we'll get one when we come over that side. Don't worry, we need to get John one eventually.
Yeah.
Need to make this happen. Need to make it happen.
Yeah. Meet me out in LA. That's where my family is. That's probably the first place I'm going once I get fully vaccinated and sit through the incubation period or whatever.
We'll be there, Muscle Beach. Me and John will be there. X will be out.
With burgers on each.
Yeah. Yes. That's a promo shot. That is an Instagram shot. Brilliant. Well, Lauren, you take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll catch up with you again soon, all right?
Thank you. Take care, guys.